guys started in Miami, though, right? In the church.
Yeah. I mean, we started off in Miami, in the church where actually growing up under my father, he actually was the one that played the lap steel. You know, he was just a, you know, kind of basic, mediocre player, but, you know, he loved music, you know, played also the guitar, the bass, he had a little band himself, you know, but he was a minister. So, you know, he had 5 boys and 3 daughters, and all of us was musically inclined. But out of the boys, you know, me and Glenn was the ones that kind of took on the instrument, musical part, playing, you know, instrument guitars and the guitars. I say the guitars. And my sister Robin, actually, you know, she's a school pianist. And but I mean, Glenn took that, and my father saw that, and he got us into guitar lessons, and we saw him, and he tried to get Keith to play the steel, but my brother Keith, no, and Glenn took it, and he just kind of ran from it, and, you know, I was like his partner, and we, you know, built it up from there.
Didn't you play Hammond organ?
No, well, actually, no, Glenn did.
Glenn did.
But I play organ too. Yeah. But I didn't start. I actually started off on drums. Then I went to actually bass. Is what that's what I was known for in the church mainly. Vocal, you know, with Glenn playing the steel and me on the bass. And then when like Alvin came up, you know, I started teaching him. Roosevelt was actually playing the drums. Then, you know, we saw Roosevelt was going to kind of be an all-around guy. And he started playing bass like me and like Alvin, and he moved on to steel, and that really, Glenn got him and kind of coached him on that. I mean, that's kind of, you know, just a little short summary. You know, we practiced countless hours, me and Glenn, you know, as brothers. You know, you had my older brother, Robert, and Keith. You know, they more or less kind of was singers, and, you know, but me and Glenn would practice the music, so we would listen to music. We were in band. And then we had our younger brother, who was like 8 years younger than us, Derek. He came on, but, you know, it was like the baby really didn't take an interest in. When he got in high school, he started singing. You know, we tried to get him to come up a little bit, but, you know. So that's kind of how the nephews came up, and so it was Bell and Alvin that took on the interest behind me and Glenn.
Well, when did Earl come in?
And well, Earl was also up under me when I started playing the drums. Earl always naturally would be the drummer, play the drums, but we had my cousin Cecil, who actually was me and Glenn drummer. Cecil came up under me, but Earl kind of came up under me and him a little bit, you know. But, you know, Earl, he moved to Atlanta for a little while, because Earl was actually born in Atlanta, but he moved down here at a young age, and that's how Earl kind of got involved. So Earl was always the drums, you know, that was his thing. From there, you know, it just was, you know, playing and doing church, and then Glenn was actually, he went to college and got a bachelor's in music. So he went to Florida Memorial and did that, and he was also minister music of a big, huge gospel Baptist church where he was, you know, played the Hammond B3. So he was like real, you know, how we're playing the Hammond. So he used his knowledge with that to play the steel. So that's why he was so known for a lot of those country chords and a lot of deep, fat jazz chords on the steel. And that's why you hear Roosevelt do a lot of those chordings to get all that chording from Glenn. Glenn picking more country style wasn't as fast as Roosevelt's, but Roosevelt, you know, picked up from Chucky Campbell and Glenn and Robert Randolph, you know, kind of that little fast picking. But he get all that chord progression and stuff from, you know, Glenn. And being a seasoned Hammond B3, he could hear so many chords and stuff. So, and actually, my transition from bass to guitar was because of Glenn. Glenn actually started me off showing me chords on the guitar, because he played the guitar. Me and him, he played the guitar. I started on the bass. So when he went to the steel, I stayed on the bass. So, but he always wanted me to get on the guitar. So before I went to college, he said, "How you got that?" So he showed me some basic chords, House of God, regular bar, finger chords, you know. So I just started from there. I just kind of naturally could pick up, you know, because I usually was the one that kind of made up the jams we did, and Glenn orchestrated them. You know, I would come up with this lick or come up with this riff or run, and in a sense that's how I'm still doing now with our band. You know, I come up with a lot of these riffs, and then like Roosevelt, like Alvin, and Derek let them hear what they hear, and we just intertwine and then we go for it.
Man, you've been doing this 6 years?
Well, we started out, our first gig was in 2002, yeah. And Castle, Nova Scotia, Canada. And that's when I was doing the booking and managing. And did our first gigs in Castle, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Winnipeg. Yeah, and all Canadians. And then that same year we did one show in Lugano, Switzerland. We started, and next year we did the same thing, going back up there, but we did about a month up there. And then, we did a couple of shows here. I started getting, with the help of Bob Stone and the Folk Alliance. Those are the two that really gave us me, the beginning, when dealing with learning how to manage the band and stuff.
So let's see, you guys, you started in Miami in the church, then you formed the Lee Boys, and your first official gig as the Lee Boys was up in Canada.
Was up in Canada.
In Nova Scotia, and you said Switzerland?
Yeah, we did Lugano, Switzerland. We did the Blues to Bop. And we were heavily, of course, the story, with me being inspired to take it out because my father died in February of 2000 and Glenn died in October. So when Glenn died, it just really took a real loop on me, me telling you the story about us growing up. We really had a close bond. And so when he died, it was hard for me to play in the four walls. And at that time, right after Glenn died, maybe a month, Robert Randolph came to me and asked me about doing two of Glenn and my songs, Joyful Sounds and Calling by His Name. I told him, do it. I was kind of in emotion, and I didn't really think of it, but Robert played that on Cold No Praying, and, so, it was real touching, but, a lot of the other musicians were saying that, Glenn had a style within the church, so I need to share that with the world, so, I just kind of inspired me to do that. We were more or less the rebels, we were more or less playing all this different type of stuff in the church, man. And my father was the minister, so he just loved his boys playing. He didn't really, know, but we just intertwined it with the old style. So that's what kind of made the Lee Boys style. And Roosevelt and Alan Earl grew up and listened to us, and they was right there. My brother Keith was the praise worship leader. Ever since he was 4 or 5 singing in church, that's all he knew how to do. And Derek sung, so it just really worked good, So I had a vision to share and spread our style of music with the world, and we've been blessed so far to be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm impressed where the Lee Boys, really one of the few bands out there that can cross over and play. Like you guys have done Cornerstone Festival, you've done Bonnaroo, and now you're going to be on Conan and the Jam Cruise. Where you've crossed over that realm, and you're not, a band like Family Force 5 who's out there and they're playing, the Warped Tour and they're playing the Cornerstone festivals. Whereas
I almost want to say similar thing to me, not cutting you off, but somewhat similar. We got some advice from the Blind Boys of Alabama.
Yeah.
And our musical style, the roots of the music comes from. But I think one of the things that they said that they were able to stay true with how they felt, and then they got criticized and knocked at first, but now they could just about play any type of festival, and I guess that's kind of really what one of my visions was, to be able to share the music with the world, maybe just be able to get all the boundaries of the genres of music, cross that, you know what I'm saying? And we're just the peak of the style of music. There's so many more great musicians and that's sacred steel players, but they choose to continue playing the four walls, and you have to respect them for that.
Yeah, that's some good advice.
Yeah, we talk with them, and even we talk with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band guys. They're their way of playing is a lot different, but I talk with their leader a lot, about what did he do. He was just telling me, once you enter this type, you have to try to stay clean and stay focused, keep your eyes straight, because, he just gave us advice of what usually messes up any type of musician that comes out and play out of their safety zone, the sex, drugs, alcohol, and women, all that stuff like that. So we said if we can stay focused, you can have, your career can be long, there's a lot of people short themselves to, shorten their career just from their actions. So 6 years so far,